check. 11 and 12. Check. All right. We are live. And I'm a little loud. Check. All right, guys. You should be able to hear me now. Let's start that over. So I thought I was going to be able to insert a JPEG for the live stream, but that's not what happened. So it just went live, and I'm fine with that. So I'm still getting used to Ecamm Live. I will be a professional here in no time. And we have Elizabeth saying happy birthday. So yes, today is my birthday. I am the big 4-2, 42 years old. So I have a few different options here for tonight we can talk about. But I want to start something new. And I want to make sure. Oh, I see. That hides that. Yeah, there's different overlay options, which is cool. Let me bring this up. My Google Drive. My documents. Uh-oh. You can't see me. There we are. Hi. So I want to have some fun, and we're going to see if do you know your music theory? Okay. So I'll wait a little bit longer to see who shows up. But y'all go ahead and come in and leave a comment. Let me know who you are, where you're from, if we've never met. And I'm going to text someone back real fast. Going live on my channel. So my plan is to get some cool graphics going in future episodes. And it should be fun. Elizabeth is asking, did I do anything for it? So I essentially, we go to Lebanon, which is where my wife's parents live. And we had Bellacinos, which is pizza and grinders, which is really great. And then we had some ice cream cake. And then we went out to the state fairgrounds. They have the dancing lights set up where you get in your car and you drive through all the lights and the music plays and all this stuff. And the kids really like it. So, and plus, if you go around my birthday, there's no lines at all. There's just nobody, especially if you go during the week. Now, I'm sure the weekends are a lot more busy. I'm going to try and keep this mic not so close to my mouth. But you let me know if it sounds decent, okay? So, yeah, we just went in. Saw the lights, the kids loved it, and then came back and had some ice cream. And now the kids are going to bed, and I'm going live because it's talk about gear on Taco Tuesday. And I did not have any Mexican food today, but I will be doing that tomorrow. So it's pretty fun. Let's see hi to some more people here. We got Charlie F in the house saying happy birthday, young man. And Elizabeth says, nice. So I do have this new hoodie. It's called Hunker Down. And this is from campingwithsteve.com. So Camping with Steve is a guy I came across on YouTube. Oh, man. It had to have been during like maybe last May, June. I can't really, it's been a few months. And me and the kids just really the whole family enjoys watching his episodes. It's basically just him going out. He's either stealth camping, which means he's camping behind a sign or little patch of trees, or he could be anywhere. But stealth camping means he's there, but you don't really know he's there. So it's kind of fun. But he does other types of camping as well. He'll camp in snow and blizzards and rainstorms and all kinds of crazy stuff. So he's very clean. He's not crude at all. He's just a great, entertaining person to watch. And he's got over 1 million subscribers, which is really cool. I guess people just like watching guys go out camping in the middle of nowhere. So, and we watch some other people as well. But camping with Steve, his whole thing is hunker down. So you got the, you put the hoodie on and take your tent out there and just have fun camping. So I'm running through my Focusrite 18i8 tonight. And I do have a brand new camera. This is the Canon EOS 90D with a Sigma 18 to 35 millimeter 1.8 art lens. So my goal for future episodes, especially I'm going to be upgrading my Ecamm Live to the Pro version here sometime soon. But I will have my Canon M50, which is right here. I will have that overhead pointing down at either a headrest or some kind of piece of gear that I'm demonstrating. And it should give a really nice picture versus the phone. I have an app on my phone that basically turns it into a webcam, and which works fine, but it doesn't really look all that great most of the time. So having a DSLR over my head, having a secondary shot is going to be a great addition to the channel and the live streams and just my abilities to, make things look really nice. I'm not going to be able to take the camera off and move it around, but that's what a secondary camera would be great for. But I do have some rack gear over here in my sidecar for the studio. I have a new Blackline PG2 power supply, which is really neat. And I'm kind of getting a new headphone system set up for when I do full band recordings up here in the studio. Everyone's going to be able to have their own mix and do some cool stuff. So let's see. Let's check out the comments here. So for Thanksgiving, we usually go down to my parents' house, which is in Trenton, Georgia. Not too far from here. And we have a Mixbus guy saying, Patrick saying, "Hi Doc, it's your birthday. Happy birthday." So come on in, say hi, and we're going to hang out a little bit. And Elizabeth is driving to Colorado on Friday at 4 a.m. That's really fun. Yeah, we'll end up going down. I know the kids will go down at least by Tuesday, and then me and my wife will come down on sometime Wednesday night, and then probably stay till Saturday night and then drive back. So it'll be a good few days off of work and whatnot. So it will be fun. It was a little cold the last few days here in Tennessee. I imagine Colorado will be very cold this time of year. So make sure you wear your big girl jacket there, Liz. And just checking my phone here. Get some birthday texts. So let's have some fun. Let's see how much music theory you know. Okay? Now, music theory is, I don't know really why they call it a theory, because it's pretty much set in stone how the music works. Pretty much set in stone. So I guess if you're a practicing doctor, you can be a theorizing musician. I don't know. Let's do this. Let me type out a question here. So I'm using my second screen over here, which is usually right here in front of me. But I'm trying to move my big 55-inch TV down a little bit lower so I don't have to bring my neck up as high to look around and stuff when I'm recording or mixing or whatever I'm doing. All right, so let's do this one. This is going to be number 1, okay? Actually, that might be a little too small. I'm not sure. Let's not do a number. Let's not do a number. Let's make this a title. So, how, if I can type. Okay. How many notes are in the chromatic scale? And this actually applies to any instrument. Every single instrument in the whole entire world follows these rules. Now, you do have Western approach to music and you have Eastern approach to music. So the chromatic scale is really a Western thing. In Eastern music, you have microtonal, micro notes in between little notes. Especially if you ever heard a sitar before, like an Indian style instrument. That can have some notes in between the notes kind of thing. But chromatic scale is mainly a westernized theory, if you will. So leave your comments and let me know what you think the answer is. And this will be fun. Mix bus rules. Yes, it does. I use it every day. Cool. Well, Elizabeth, I hope you have fun with your family and y'all stay safe. I know my wife is excited about doing some Black Friday shopping. We don't really try to go too crazy with the shopping, but there are certain items I think she's looking for, and you can usually find a pretty good deal with that kind of stuff. So, Elizabeth, do you know this answer? How many notes are in the chromatic scale? And try not to use Google. Don't Google it. Just give me a number. And if you do know some music theory, then shout it out. Let me know what you think. We got 5 people watching so far. So we'll get done with this first segment, and then we'll have some fun talking about the next topic. I really need to learn how to do some overlays. Because there's scenes, there's overlays. There's a lot I don't know about Ecamm Live just yet. But I got some basics down. Which is not too bad. And I have my gig board hooked up here. So while I wait for some answers, I'm going to play some guitar. So I have a few different headphones in my possession right now that I have from Sweetwater. I got a red pick right here. 10. You are very close. Very, very close, but that's not right. 10 is not the answer in this case. So headphones from Sweetwater. I'm gonna do a headphone shootout pretty soon. I've had a few different kinds of headphones over the years, but these right here, these are open back headphones, and they're supposed to be really good for mixing. And I can already tell, like, I can hear the room around me. Like I don't feel closed off. But it does put the music more directly in my ears and not having to listen out of speakers all the time. So that'll be interesting. These are a pair of Rode headphones. And they are really comfortable, But they have a little bit of play in this joint right here, and I'm not too fond of that. This is actually the second pair I've gotten because I had to return the first ones because they just broke. They literally just, the thing almost just came right off. But these are the NTH 100s. So if you get these, you have to hold them with both hands. You can't do like the one hand kind of thing because it is kind of heavy. And but they are really comfortable and they sound really good. So so I have some of those, and then the rest of them I have at work because I wear headphones pretty much all day long. When I'm testing out stuff or recording, I don't want to just blast music out of the speakers all day and bother all the other guys in the office. So I'm trying to find some headphones that are comfortable that I can wear, for multiple hours at a time without having to take them off and, take a break and all that. So, yeah, I'm going to pan this left and right. So I'm going into ADAT 1 and 2, which is my, and these pre's on here for some reason are just noisy. All right, I'm going to have to switch this out. I may not be keeping these mic pre's. I probably just need to clean them with some contact cleaner or something. This sounds good. All right, so Patrick has the correct answer. There are technically 11 unique notes, but there is +1 for the octave. So that is correct. Correctamundo. And you are currently seeing... Oh, it's set to current application. Let me change this out to Firefox. There we go. So to demonstrate this, Liz and everybody else, we're going to say A for answer is 11 unique notes and +1 for the octave. All right, so on any stringed instrument, not every string instrument, but stringed instruments in general, this is how they work. So you have the open string, and you usually have a nut down here, and you have a saddle or a bridge area over on the opposite side. And when you pluck the string, that's going to create a note, whatever you have it tuned to. For guitar, your open notes are tuned to E, A, D, G, B, E. And that allows us to play certain patterns, chordal patterns on the guitar, or guitar in this instance. This head rush sounds great. I'm going to save this. Just call it Doc Clean. Okay. So open string is E. If I put my first finger on the first fret, that is going to be 1/2 step higher in the chromatic scale. So we got E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. So we started with E, and then 12 half steps higher, we end with E. Okay? So if you continue on all the strings, you got A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, and so on and so forth. So because of this, we can play certain triads on the fretboard, and that is going to give us different chords within that key. So we can have like a D chord right here. Then we can play a G right here. We can play an A right here. And back to D. And so on. So that is a chromatic scale question. And the first installment in the Do You Know Your Music Theory? So that's pretty fun. We can... I may be referencing Sweetwater a little bit later today, or later in the stream. So I'll go ahead and get that pulled up. But then we're going to go to our default scene right here. So we're going to hunker down tonight, and we're going to play some more guitar and talk about some stuff. So y'all be sure and come in and ask your questions. And there was a question in the Mixbus user group by Frank, and he was asking how to capture the audio out of your DAW. Well, I'm actually using, let's see if I can pull this up here. Let me go back to this other scene, which is probably this. So I'm going to bring up LaudiaCast. So this is what I use on a Mac to capture, basically route the loopback channel of my interface into an input that your live stream software can actually recognize. And most of the time that's going to be USB 1 and 2. And that's true whether you're using OBS, which is a free software. There's also Streamlabs OBS, which is free, but there's also a paid option. I'm using Ecamm Live and lots of other options here. If I change my sound input on Ecamm to something else, let's see what happens. Check, 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 check. Okay, it's still technically working, but I'm not sure which input it's receiving. So I'm going to go back to the Black Hole 16 channel. And that allows me to do the streaming and audio capture thing. And I actually learned about LaudiaCast from the RME videos. Because with the RME interface, you can pretty much make any output channel a loopback option. The only thing that's going to happen is it's going to take over the inputs, the corresponding inputs. So if you're using output 3 and 4 as your loopback, well, now input 3 and 4 you can no longer use as an input. But RME, this UFX interface has it's got 16 channels of ADAT. It's got 4 mic pre's on the front and then 8 line inputs on the back. So there's plenty of I/O for anything I would want to do, essentially. And yeah, so that's how you do that. Doing some live stream stuff. And let's check the comments here, see what we got going on. I do try to go live every Tuesday around the same time. So when we got home, it was a little after 8. I was like, hey, can you put the kids to bed so I can go ahead and get this live stream going? And then, so it's a team effort for sure. I'm going to put this microphone off axis. So these switches right here that you're seeing on the bottom of the screen, this is from the Headrush gig board. But I also have a piece of plastic with Sour Patch Kid stuff on it. I also have the Quad Cortex right here. And I might plug that in a little bit as well. They both have touchscreens. The Headrush has a slightly larger touchscreen. This is like a 7-inch touchscreen, and the Quad Cortex doesn't look as tall, but it looks about the same width, maybe. So I'm going to be testing out these units probably this Friday. I'm going to do some comparisons on just the overall layout, and then we can talk about some tonal stuff. And be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell, because I will be going live another time this month to do the Headrush tone sculpting or HTS rigs live stream that I do once a month. And I'm going to be building some rigs this time around. The first one I did 2 months ago. I did one on Telecaster tones for the Headrush. Then last month I did Stratocaster tones for the Headrush. So now this month I'm going to do a Les Paul / humbucker tones for the Headrush pedal board. But what's great about how I teach is literally all these concepts can be applied to the Kemper, Quad Cortex, Fractal, Helix, any of the, the Boss GT 100s, 1000s, any of that stuff. Now, functionally, how you do different stuff is different, but really how you use your ear and try to dial in the sounds, they're all exactly the same to me. I don't really find a lot of difference in the sound of all this stuff, but it will be interesting to keep comparing the Headrush, which is what I've been using for about 4 years now, and then testing it with all this new technology like the Quad Cortex from Neural DSP. Now the Kemper has been around for about 10 years, but it was they definitely had some forethought going into that product. They just made it really well. And when they released the Kemper Stage a few years back, that was really a good move versus having to use the toaster, then use the remote to control the toaster and all the different stuff. So Kevin Carrick is in the house. I'm going to say hi to Kevin. There he is. Good evening. All right, so let's do some jamming here. I'm actually going to go to my website. And we're going to log into Podia.com. Podia.com is what I use to host my site. I was using a WordPress type site and then paying for Lifter LMS, which is a way to basically create courses for your site, and then you do like a monthly or a yearly fee for that. But I really like Podia.com. I made a sale a few days ago for my Headrush tone sculpting course, which was great. But I'm going to go into my products here. And I'm going to go into backing tracks. And let's go ahead and view this as the customer. And we're going to play along with some backing tracks. So let's do an Easy Blues in G. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna bring me up here. How's that sound, Patrick? Let's bring down my volume on the white boost. Lost the main mix. Well, I'm coming out of loopback 1 and 2. All right, how about that? The problem is I can't hear in the headphones what the loopback channel's doing because there's a separate mix. So, oh, I can do. Yes, I can. I can make it a custom mix. There we go. So if I bring this down, see, it didn't bring it down to my headphones though. For some reason I lost the left input out of the headrush. There we go. Got in the way. Bridge pickup. Out of phase position, which is the middle position with the tone knob pulled out. And back in. Cool. So that can go for, I have these backing tracks going for about 10 minutes. So that's usually 5 to 10 minutes is plenty long for you to sit down, work on a certain technique, a certain scale, a certain arpeggio. I definitely I have a lot of work to do as far as practicing goes. But so far I just have a lot of blues right now. I feel like I have some other stuff. Let me see, what do I have? And then once after this little jam, we can take some more questions and get into the main topic. Okay, so I don't have anything in the jazz department yet, but that's one thing I'm going to be working on, okay? So Patrick, this is the Pete Anderson Telecaster from Reverend. You see the Reverend headstock there. We got lock and tuners, a nice roasted maple fretboard, and actual rosewood neck, which is really nice. And on the headrush here, I have basically the equivalent of RC booster, and this is a 59 Deluxe gain mod. So it's like a deluxe tube amp, but they've modded the gain so you can really drive it here. Turn the volume down. Actually, that's not going to work. That's one thing. That's definitely the main thing I take away from all these different modelers is there's so much variety in the type of clean sounds you can get, the type of rhythm / crunch sounds you can get, and also the type of lead sounds. And there's a lot to be said for just picking just a general clean that you can do a lot of stuff with. Maybe it's clean if you pick lightly, but then if you start digging in, it crunches up a little bit. You know, there's a lot of players that kind of play on the verge of the dirty side there, and all that. And the same goes for your rhythm and your lead sounds. I mean, you have a Marshall overdrive type stuff, right? Let me go to another sound here. Like this is a like a JCM 800. Okay, stuff like that. We have Saldano. It's a little loud. So really, with a lot of the distorted stuff, the nuance is in the mid-range, how much mid-range bark it has versus maybe you have more of a scoop sound, which is what a Mezza Boogie will get you. Like here's an extended range of the Saldano. You know, stuff like that, which is really, it's a very smooth sound. Let's see what we got in here. Here's a Mezza. So that just has more of a scoop sound than other type amps. Here's a Bogner, which is going to have a different sound. But I think having a handful of dirty amps, maybe one or two clean amps, and for recording, that's really all you need, because you might record, a Marshall on the left and then double track the same part with a Mezzo Boogie on the right, and those two different tones pan hard left and right will really get you a lot of tonal variety in the mix to make it sound thicker, and just a lot of different stuffs there. So there's orange. Here's like an orange lead. Turn this up a little bit. Turn off that tube screamer. If I put on the neck pickup, if I roll down the volume, kind of clean it up a little bit. All kinds of different options here. Let's check the comments real fast, see what's going on. Uh-oh. Patrick has a new idea for a Harrison product, so we're gonna see an email about that in the morning. But yeah, if y'all, I would say this for any consumer that's using a product. If you have an idea, email the company and just see what they think. Because that's if the company is listening to their customers, which Harrison definitely is. And any company that wants to stick around for a while, they need to listen to their user base and definitely utilize the brain power of the actual users that use this stuff all the time and just get new ideas. So I think it's great. Funny about Phil X, I actually saw him. I ran into him, not actually like hit him, but like I was stalking. I worked at Publix during the pandemic during 2020, which is a grocery store here in the southeast area. I'm not sure if Publix is up north anywhere, but maybe they are. But anyway, I was working on one of the aisles. I was actually on the cleaning aisle, stocking like detergent or something. And Phil X was there with his mask on. Can't really see his face, but I could see his eyes. I could see his hair. He had like the big leather jacket. It was like, you're Phil X. He's like, yeah, man, where can I find this? It's like, so I helped him find whatever. And he said he I guess you don't mind me telling you this, but he moved from California, and he recently moved to the Nashville area to get out of California and all the craziness over there. And so I just thought it was cool. Regular old guy shopping for detergent at a local grocery store, and so shopping for the family by day and rocking out by night. I think it's cool. But you'll see a lot of that here in the Nashville area. You might run into Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, or you might run into Dolly Parton. Well, maybe not Dolly Parton, but literally just anybody. Like, it's a who's who just walking down the road, especially if you're downtown Nashville, because they might have a guitar in their hands. They might be going to a writing session, a recording session. They might just be out having fun with their friends, eating dinner. So you just never know who you're going to meet as far as like the country and the rock and all the different artists that are here in the Nashville area. So it's really cool. Yeah. Well, like I said, that's so Patrick is saying the mix volume, it's hard for me to adjust what you're hearing, especially with the Focusrite option here, because let's see, if I go out the only options I have are I can either listen back to the playback DAW, I can listen to a hardware input, which means I wouldn't be able to hear like backing tracks, or I can listen to a custom mix. So I basically have it all set to custom mix, but I can't tell the headphones to listen to a certain mix, which would be great, because it'd be nice to listen in to like what the loopback mix sounds like, and then have the headphones share that mix. Now on the RME, I can actually do that to an extent, but I need to figure all this stuff out a little bit more. But who has the time? Who has the time? I'm gonna make the time. I gotta figure this stuff out. So, that is pretty much all for any kind of jamming. Probably next week I'll do some Sweetwater or Amazon type deals, kind of going over some deals, Tac-O-Bout gear that maybe you want to get for either Christmas or a birthday or whatever. I don't have, let's see if I can pull this up. Because when I start a live stream from Ecamm, it didn't bring in all my other settings. So I'll make sure I update this after the stream, so I can add a description. I can add a thumbnail. Yay! I just added a thumbnail. But if you look under any of my videos, I have some links to my website, a link to buy a custom IR pack, which is impulse response pack from Sonic DNA. And I also have Amazon and Sweetwater affiliate links that if you just click through those links and buy literally anything, it could be toilet paper from Amazon, could be a toothbrush, could be a little amplifier or like a Bluetooth speaker for your kitchen. If you want to buy some musical instruments through Amazon, you can do that. Also, if you click through Sweetwater, I do get a kickback from any kind of purchase you make through that. So if you like a Reverend guitar that you see me playing, or you want to check out some headphones, or check out a Headrush or one of the new Quad Cortex units, or just literally anything you're going to buy, it can be a bag of picks. That does help to go support the channel, even in a small way. So I do appreciate that. And since it is my birthday, if you want to purchase anything off of the website, that'd be great. I'm providing music theory courses, a recording course, and some Headrush courses right now. And I will be adding some more in the near future. So, so Liz is going to be out. But thanks for stopping by, Liz, and you have a good rest of your night, okay? So since it is my birthday, let's talk a little bit about how I got into this whole music thing. So I was born in November 15th, 1980. Apparently it was like 1 something in the morning, and I was like one of 9 or 10 babies born that night. My mom can tell you the whole story. But as I grew up, I started taking piano lessons from Mrs. Stanfield in Albertville, Alabama, and also took some lessons for a short time in 3rd grade at the elementary school. I had to go in the basement of the building to this little room that had a piano in it, and this like 70-year-old woman, really nice. I can't remember her name. She would teach me out of a book, and she would make sure my hands or my fingers were going where they needed to. And so I pretty much took piano for, the first few years of my young childhood, third grade on up. And then when it came time for middle school, I tried out. You didn't really have to audition, but I essentially said, "Hey, I want to play an instrument in the marching band or in the concert band," which is very typical for most middle school kids. You either have options to play sports, you can play in the band, you can do drama, or all kinds of different stuff. So I chose to play the trombone, and I didn't really feel comfortable with a woodwind instrument because all the different keys and it just seemed too confusing. So I like the trombone because you can just do the slide thing, and it was kind of fun. And so I just remember taking my trombone home for the first time and just literally doing nothing but blowing into the mouthpiece, making some kind of weird noise, and then just moving the slide up and down. Not really knowing what the positions were or where the notes were or anything. Just having fun with it. But I did make it through 7th grade doing trombone. And then in 8th grade, I got to audition to be a substitute for the high school marching band, which meant if someone was sick that week or they were injured in some way, then the 8th graders got to practice with the high school band on the field, and you had to fill in for one of those spots that you were, so you had to learn the marching pattern kind of on the spot in just a few days, because that next Friday you had to be on the field during the halftime show and filling in for this person. So I could have filled in for a woodwind person. I'm pretty sure one time I filled in for a color guard flag girl person, and that was interesting. See, here I am, just this lonely trombone player out in the middle of these girls, like flipping their flags around in the air, and it was crazy stuff. But yeah, so that was 7th and 8th grade, and then I think in 8th grade we got to go to the high school gymnasium, and we got to see like a little. It wasn't a concert, but it was basically like a high school jazz / rock band that played Bush, and they played some other rock songs from the 90s. And once I saw those guitar players, I was pretty much hooked at that point. I was like, I still wanted to play trombone, but all I could think about was guitar, especially electric guitar. And at the time, that was probably like August, September, something like that. So I asked my parents for a guitar for that next Christmas, which this coming up Christmas, I think it'll be 26 years I've been playing guitar, which is kind of cool. Let's see, let's check the comments here. Okay, we still got some people going. So you're hanging in there listening to my story. So I got a student guitar, which I still have. It's in the garage downstairs. I probably should have brought that up as you can see it, but I mean, it's got some holes in it now and doesn't have any strings, and it's just kind of broken down. Any other person probably would have thrown it away by now, but I just, it's my first guitar, so why not keep it, even just for a nostalgic sake. And where's my preview? Okay, there I am. Preview mode. All right, cool. So yeah, I got that guitar, got like a little book and a VHS tape of how like play different chords and different stuff. And me and my brother kind of picked around on that for the next year. And then it was time for me to step up to a bigger guitar. So my parents, and that was 9th grade. So my parents got me a Sigma acoustic guitar and a little custom just solid state amplifier to play through. And I actually found it. I didn't go looking for this, but I actually found it in my parents' closet when they were away from the house. So I would actually get it out of the closet and play it and then put it all back just the way I found it. And then when Christmas morning came, I was like, oh my gosh, it's a guitar. I had no idea, which obviously I did have an idea because I've been taking it out and playing it like for at least 2 months before that, right? I was bad. I was just bad. But yeah, I got the guitar. And then shortly after that, we moved from Iberville, Alabama to Trenton, Georgia. And that's where I finished up my high school career, my career in high school. And my junior year, I was able to, I got a Squier Stratocaster that my dad bought me. And then played on that for a few years. And it was really fun. I would listen to songs from like Boston and all these other bands, and I would try to like write out all the solos note for note on the staff paper, just doing it all by ear. You know, I was listening to the Beatles, to Eric Clapton, you know, a lot of Leonard Skinner, because you know when you live in the South, you just naturally listen to Leonard Skinner, and yeah, just having fun, just playing. Found some guys to jam with for a little bit there. And then my senior year, so me and some other guys, we practiced for a few months and we learned Freebird. I would like to say note for note. I did my best to do it note for note. I think I did a pretty good job. But we ended up playing Freebird for the senior talent show, which each group was only supposed to have 5 minutes of stage time, but we all know that Freebird is at least a 10-minute song. So we were up on stage, we started the song, I had my slide guitar, playing the slide stuff, you know, whatever it is, I forgot what it was. Did it all on the slide, right? And then when it came time for the end jam, the teachers were like, "Get off the stage, your time is over." It's like, forget it, we're seniors, we don't care. So we just ended up playing like the whole 10-minute version of Freebird. I was up there shredding, you know, playing all the cool licks and stuff. And then after my senior year, I went back to Alabama, which is in Boaz, where Snead State Community College is, and that's actually the town right next to Albertville. So I pretty much went back to where I grew up and started my my college career there at Snead State. I got a scholarship to play jazz guitar. I actually tried out with guitar and trombone, but they needed a guitar player. They already had plenty of trombone players, which I'm kind of glad because I enjoyed being in the rhythm section. And it turns out there's some other people that I ultimately would meet in my near future that also went to Snead State and played in the jazz band. So I thought that was kind of cool. And so I spent 2 years there at Snead learning about jazz. I also studied classical guitar, which I need to work on my nails a little bit. See if this will focus. Will it focus? Yeah. So I got nice short nails, but I need them to be a little bit longer for classical guitar. So I'll work on that eventually. And so studied jazz, studied classical. And then I started looking around my sophomore year because I already had 4 semesters of music theory. And then I did take piano during that time as well. And I was looking around at different schools, and I ended up finding MTSU, which is here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is where I live currently. I live in a subdivision of Murfreesboro called Walter Hill, and it's kind of in between Murfreesboro and Smyrna in the Middle Tennessee area. So I came to Middle Tennessee, still played trombone for about 3 more years, actually 2 more years. Because my 3rd year, my dad was like, "Hey, you're like a 5th-year senior. You kind of need to wrap this thing up." So I was like, "All right, fine." So I didn't march that year, but I did continue to study classical guitar, and I was in the first semester that they had the commercial music ensemble, which I did have to try out for, and I pretty much beat out like 10 other guitar players, which I don't know if that says a good thing about my playing or a bad thing about my playing if I beat out all these other people. But I think what I liked about my playing was I was able to pick out the parts by ear from the record, and all these other guys were just kind of going off on their own thing and playing whatever they wanted. And when you're playing basically in a cover band, in a commercial music ensemble, you want to be able to recreate the parts and the sounds that you hear on the record. And that's pretty much what I did. I went in and played it note for note, just like they did on the song. I think I played Little Wing, but the Sting version. I don't even know how to play it. So it was like, let's put it back on a. Anyway, a little musical interlude there for you. So yeah, commercial music ensemble, continue to study classical. And then when I got out of college, it was like, okay, what am I going to do? So I actually went and worked at Sam's Club for a little bit. And then I found a newspaper ad, because we still had newspapers back then that we actually, read. And I saw an ad for a general work, whatever you call it, general labor. That's what they called it, for Gibson guitars. And I was actually there for almost 10 years, working at Gibson, chopping the wood, shaping the necks, almost cut off my finger, which I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. Let's do this. Yeah. See the scars there on my finger? Yeah, that would not have been good if I cut off my finger. But thankfully, the blade just barely nicked it. It did go down to the bone, but they were able to stitch it up pretty well, and I have full functionality over that finger. So things happen, folks. Things happen. Yeah, worked at Gibson, and then during that time, about 2011, 2012, I started playing in a band called Feedback Revival. And I started off just producing and recording a few songs for one of their EPs. And then they were a 3-piece, but the music could stand to have a second guitar player. So I kind of stepped into that role and became the rhythm guitar / lead guitar on some songs. Really just depending on whatever the lead singer, Dan, wanted to play. Because if it was a song that he already played lead on, that I would just play rhythm. But any new stuff that he didn't want to play lead on, I would just go and play lead. So I stuck with Feedback Revival for, we actually toured Europe in 2014, and then came back from that tour and kind of fizzled out a little bit. We tried to keep it going for a few more years, I think 2016 or so, but just kind of fell apart after that due to reasons, as certain people on the internet would say, reasons. So yeah, but the whole time I pretty much, I was playing a lot, but I started recording around, I got a Tascam Porta Studio 2, probably back in 99. And that's just a cassette recorder. It's a 4-track. And then I messed around with that. And then I started using Cakewalk 9.0 on my brother's computer. Just kind of dabbled in recording horribly. I mean, I had no idea what I was doing, which most people don't when they first start out. But yeah, Cakewalk 9.0, I produced an album with my friend Adam back in Alabama during that time. And we wrote like a 9 or 10 song album. It's online. You can go check it out. It's called Bloodline: The Cure for Death. I'll leave a I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check that out. It's You just have to check it out. It's you may like it, you may not, but it's very, very early in my career of actually recording stuff. So I've definitely grown over the years as a producer and as an engineer, and how to make the song sound the way they should. Um, so yeah, and then just throughout the years, I've had multiple different interfaces for anything from like a Studio Live mixing board to like this RME. I got a Focusrite over here. I got some Arturia 8 mic pre's, and really just recording anybody and everybody I can find that needs a demo done, needs an EP recorded, a full length album recorded. And so I liked being in a band. I liked traveling the minimal amount that we did. But once you start getting married and having kids, it's very hard to leave that, to go off and play shows for very, very little money. And it just was not written in the cards for me to make it big, being a rock star. I mean, I don't have piercings. I don't have tattoos. I barely have any hair. And I'm just not the quintessential rock star type of person. So I do like staying at home and producing other people and helping them pursue their dreams of making music in some form or fashion. And so I like being on the other side of the glass, if you will, and just doing those kind of projects. This is the new studio. If you've seen any live streams from the old house, it had red walls. It was down in the basement of a garage kind of area. And this is in the bonus room of a detached garage. And so it's very quiet up here. I have electronic drums over to my left, which are just out of the shot. And then I have a nice vocal booth right behind me here that works really well for vocals, acoustic guitar, maybe a cello, maybe a violin, anything with microphones involved. And then for any kind of electric guitar or bass, I have either a Headrush. I now have, a Quad Cortex, a Kemper. I have all kinds of different options when it comes to tracking electric guitar and bass. I have a keyboard station back behind the drums, which has a Alesis Recital Pro. It's like a $300 keyboard. It's not like anything to write home about, but it feels good under the fingers. And everyone that's played on it says it feels fine. So, but the main goal of this whole story is I found a passion in music, and I've kind of just stuck with that, for the majority of my life. I do teach on Thursday afternoons. I have a handful of students I teach. I have a drum student. I have a few guitar students. I have a piano student. And I'm really, I'm teaching them about musicianship. And, I teach them about music theory. I teach them how to, where to put their fingers on the guitar. But it's really about being a musician just in general. And because that's really what I needed growing up. I needed someone to show me, like, not just how to play a C chord. Anybody can do that. You can go on YouTube now and learn how to play a C chord. But actually being a musician and learning how to play with other people and applying the knowledge that you have about chords and scales to actually play music, whether you want to do that full time, because you may want to be a gigging musician or just be a studio musician, or maybe you want to play weddings, or you might want to go the teaching route. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But if it's not music, it needs to be, surely you're passionate about something. Okay, it could be about sewing, it could be about horseback riding, skiing, any kind of, other like aquatic type stuff like swimming. Maybe you're into running and you're training for a marathon type stuff, or maybe you just like running around your neighborhood. I mean, I don't know, but I think it's very important for all of us to just find that passion that you're born to do and that you're born to pursue, and just give it everything that you have. And I think that's, if you can do that, you'll be pretty happy in life. Now I am a Christian, so I like to think, I'm pursuing the gifts that He has given me in my life, and I think it'd be irresponsible to not have a passion for music and not actually pursue it. But I am in the industry, so I'm working for Harrison Consoles. I do all their product customer service for their recording software. But I also teach music. I record. I run audio visual at my church. So I can pretty much say I'm doing music full time now. Finally in my life. I thought I was going to be doing all that in my 20s, but it just didn't happen. I fell into this Gibson job and just, it took up a lot of years doing something that I probably should have been pursuing other things. But after 42 years, I can say I think God has me right where He wants me, and I will stay here until He tells me to do something different. But as long as I got a guitar in my hands and some cool tones to play with, I'm a pretty happy guy. So let's play a little bit more here. Let me check the comments. They got Patrick saying he did the same thing. I'm not sure what he's referencing. Maybe he's talking about the recording setup or something. I'm not really sure. I'm still kind of learning this whole Ecamm thing. Let's see. I have default scene assigned to A, which is cool. And then head is set to S. So I can switch between different scenes, which is neat. But in this scene, see, I want this to be applied. I need this to be applied to all the scenes. I don't know how to do that. Yeah, sounds good. So let me turn that off. There we go. Yeah, thanks Patrick for coming in and hanging out a little bit. This is the birthday edition of the Tac-O-Bout Gear live stream that I do every Tuesday around 8:30-ish or so. And it's about 10 o'clock right now. And we've been going for about an hour and 15 minutes. So that's pretty long. Yep, have a good night, Patrick. So let's do a little bit more playing here. Let's have fun. I do like the this is an orange rocker verb. Actually, it's not a rocker verb. It's the 8030 amplifier. And it sounds really nice. I can go in and turn up the decay. Maybe turn up the mix. Okay, let me plug this. Let me plug this into the quad cortex now and see what we got. We got the headphones. Turn up our volume. And let's make a new one. All right, so add an amp, guitar. Let's go with something clean. I saw that Tone Junkie has released every single hopefully I can get some volume out of this. He released every single Fender amp they ever made, which is kind of neat. We're not getting any volume out of the headphones. So let's go out. Out 3 and 4. Oh. I don't know why I'm not getting any volume. Because I have to plug my guitar cable into the input. That would make a lot of sense. I've done that before, by the way. I've gotten on stage and I have set up my pedal board and my amplifier. There we go. Doesn't sound that great. Turn on my mic pre's. It sounds very not that great. Don't know why. Let's do this one. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. And I'm kind of just hanging out at this point. So if you're watching, be sure to just ask a question. Let me know what you want to talk about. We're going to add in a reverb. I feel like the volume just got crunchy somehow. Okay. I don't want to do an ambient one. I like this Mind Hall. Sounds really good. Oh, overlay. Show in all scenes. Show in all scenes. See, there's a button there. But I don't know how to do it. Show in all scenes. Yeah. scene. I'm kind of looking at a setting here in Ecamm. Show scenes window. I'm already looking at it. Anyway, it's all good. I have to do some research on YouTube on how to do this stuff. Now, what I do like about, man, that's noisy. Why did it get so noisy all of a sudden? Check, 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 check. Okay. What I do like about Quad Cortex is when you choose an effects block, you can actually adjust the parameters from the switches itself, because the switches actually turn, which is neat. So I can use the first knob on the A knob, and turn up the mix. Kind of neat. And now let's add in another reverb. It's going to be a shimmer. And we'll turn up the mix of that. Make it nice and bright. The pitch, let's make it 24 semitones. So that means that just like we learned in the music theory question, there are 12 semitones in one octave. So if you go 24 semitones, it's going to be 2 octaves higher. Let me turn up the mix a little bit more so you can hear it. A little bit more so you can hear it. We got a decay, we got a pre-delay. Yeah. Isn't that neat? I just went from E major to E minor. Alright, cool. So I'm going to bring the mix of that one down. Bring the mix of this other reverb down. Whew. All right, guys. Why is it so loud? Like I hear it loud in my ears. It's like the mic pre's crunching up or something. I don't know what's going on. Thank you so much for checking out the live stream. If you want to help support the channel in any way, there are links in the description. There are affiliate links to Amazon and Sweetwater. And you can also head to the website and check out any of my courses if you want to learn about music theory, about the head rush, or about recording. So I am Dr. McFarland, and I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.